What's good, Commanders fans? Just want to make a quick video here about this report or rumor about us being linked to defensive end Harold Landry. He plays for the Tennessee Titans, former Pro Bowler. So this is the tweet here. It's from ML Football, so you just never know. I mean, you want to take some of these things with a grain of salt. A lot of people are connecting us to different people or different places and stuff like that. Like ESPN, Bleacher Report, they've been suggesting trades for us. But this Twitter page, ML Football, says Titans Pro Bowl pass rusher Harold Landry is available via trade and is highly sought after by multiple contenders. Landry has been strongly linked to the Lions, Falcons, 49ers, and Commanders by front office personnel. Landry has recorded 12 and a half sacks in his last 17 games. He does have 4 sacks on the season. He had 2 sacks against Aaron Rodgers this season where he had a dominant game. A versatile defender. He can drop back in coverage too. Even though you don't want to see your pass rusher drop back in coverage, he's capable of doing it. He did sign an extension back in 2022, and then he did have a torn ACL. He did miss a year, but you do look at some of his numbers and his stats. He is 28 years old, former second-round pick out of Boston College. He has some good seasons, man. He's had some good seasons. He had 12 sacks in 2021, where he made the Pro Bowl. Then he had 10 and a half sacks in 2023, which was last year. Then he has 4 sacks. So he's on pace for double-digit sacks. And he had 9 sacks in 2019 as well. He also had a forced fumble in 2018, 2019, and 2020. No interceptions, but actually, no, he had an interception in 2019 and 2020. So he does take the ball away. 5 pass deflections in 2020 as well. So he has a knack for getting to the quarterback and getting his hands on the football from time to time, too. So I wouldn't mind them trading for him. But, you just look at the draft picks that we have available. Yeah, he had 2 sacks against the Jets where they lost to the Jets 17-24. Then he had a sack against Miami, and then he had a sack on Caleb Williams in the first game of the season where they lost 17-24. And their defense has been legit. Like the Tennessee's defense, they are ranked first in yards allowed. Now, yes, they gave up 34 points to the Buffalo Bills, but for the most part, like they shut down Caleb Williams. That was Caleb Williams' first game as a pro, but still, like they've shut down they shut down for the most part. They didn't shut them down, but they held the Jets in check. For the most part, and they beat up on the Dolphins. I know Tyler Huntley was the quarterback, but still, like Harold Landry, he's a good defensive end. He's a good edge rusher, and he's very versatile. Just look at some of the numbers here. So pressure since 2019, 165. He's in the top category in that case with pressures. I think he would be a solid pickup. He was the AFC Defensive Player of the Week last year, December 13th, where he had a career high 3 sacks in that game. Week 14, he was the AFC Player of the Week. So I think he would be a solid addition to the team. But, what would we give up for Harold Landry? Zadarius Smith, I know I wouldn't mind giving up like a 4th, maybe a 6th, because Zadarius Smith, the Browns traded 2 5th-round picks for Zadarius Smith. And then you look at what DeAndre Hopkins got traded for, and I know that's kind of apples to oranges there. But I just wouldn't give up because we don't have a 5th-round pick this year. Maybe a 5th-round pick in 2026. Maybe you give that up for Zadarius or for Harold Landry, something like that. And then you look at his numbers in 2023. He had a 64.2 run defense grade. He has a 70.1 PFF grade this year so far. 62.6 pass rush grade last year in 2023. He had 10.5 sacks and 47 quarterback pressures and 14 tackles for a loss. And he has a cap hit of 23.8 million last year. You look at his contract, what we would be taking on. There is a potential out after this year with a $13 million dead money cap hit. 2025, he's going to get paid $17.5 million, and then 2026, he would get paid $17.5 million. So 2 years after this year, he would get $17.5 million. He signed a 5-year, $87.5 million contract, which is a darn good contract. So he wouldn't be a free agent until after the 2026 season. So I think he fits the timeline. What I would give up is maybe a 5th-round pick for next year, if that. But I know Adam Peters, he's staying close to the vest, but it sounds like he really wants to get an edge rusher here. I know we all want cornerbacks, but no corners are really available. And the more guys that are really available at this point are edge rushers and defensive ends at this point, really. But yeah, you look at some next-gen stats for Harold Landry. The fastest of the 2 sacks that he had against Aaron Rodgers occurred in 4.2 seconds per next-gen stats in actual eternity. And then he also had 10 pressures in that game. They're also a team high amount for the season in a game that Harold Landry had in that game against the Jets. And like I said, he's very versatile. He's an outside linebacker and slash defensive end. He played a 3-4 defense where he's asked to drop back in coverage with Mike Vrabel, but Mike Vrabel's not there anymore. Just looking at this one article talking about Harold Landry. So I think he would fit well. I mean, you got Dante Fowler playing really good football, so you have a good rotation there. Cleveland Farrell. And then when Dorrance comes back, you got F.A. Obata at edge. They just released Jamin Davis. So, I mean, I think we have a good rotation of pass rushers if they do bring in Harold. I think they're doing a good job right now getting pressure. It's just we do get pressure on bad quarterbacks, but we got to do it against the top 15 elite quarterbacks. Can they? Caleb, at this point, I don't know if he's a top 15 quarterback just yet. He's getting there. Possibly will be there. He's a guy that can move around the pocket. He does take a lot of sacks too. He's taken 19 sacks on the year, which is second worst in the league, or the second most in the league, behind Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's been sacked like 30 times, thanks to us, where we piled up 7 sacks in that game. But you look at Harold Landry, 6'2", 252 pounds, was second in the combine with the athleticism score back in 2018 with an 88 score, 36-inch vertical leap, super athletic, 4.6 40-yard dash, 24 bench reps, 84 total score, which was second in the 2018 NFL Draft Combine as well, which is great. Draft projection was a first-round pick, but he was drafted in the second round. His comparison was Vic Beasley coming out. And you look at the write-up, while he can play standing for 3-4 teams, he's at his best with his hand in the dirt as a rusher. Landry can get by as an NFL rusher with just speed and athleticism, but he has an opportunity to become a Pro Bowler if he can improve his hand usage and develop as an inside counter, which he has done that. You see the ghost move that he's done in a couple games, and he has made a Pro Bowl as well. One of his strengths is he creates strip sacks and batted balls with his long, active arms, where he had 5 pass deflections that one season. Uses athletic ability to ramp up a secondary rush and scoop up scrambling quarterbacks. Rangy with plus pursuit speed against the run. Has experience standing and dropping into space. Plays with good change of direction and quick lateral movement to track down bootlegs. So, yeah, I think Joe Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn would find a good way to use him out there, the way they're using Frankie Louvu as a pass rusher and get to the quarterback too. So I think Joe Witt Jr. would be able to be more creative, and guys would be fresh. Dante would be fresh. Dorrance would be fresh when he comes back. Cleveland, F.A. Obata, you just have that good rotation of pass rushers there. So I know it's tough to part with draft picks. This one, I'm not really banging on the table for this one to happen, but it is intriguing. I do think he would help this pass rush. A strong pass rush obviously helps out the secondary. And if we're just not able to really trade for a corner, or there's just no corners that are just available, then I think the best upgrade to this defense is a defensive end. You know, DeAndre Hopkins got traded today to the Chiefs, so I just don't think we're going to trade for a wide receiver anyway. But I think most likely that Adam Peters is looking for an edge rusher. That's what it sounds like per reports and rumors at this point. So I know it's getting exhausted with the rumors and reports right now with the trade deadline coming up November 5th. But that's just, and a lot of people are going to link us to players because we are a contender at this point. So it's just favorable for people to just link us to trade for this guy and this guy and that guy. So I know Adam Peterson wants to build through the draft. So if he decides to not trade for anybody or decides not to trade for Harold Landry, I'm fine with that too. So we'll see what happens with this one. I just want to keep you guys updated with this one and see what your thoughts on this with Harold Landry. But Harold Landry, he's been pretty durable as well, other than the torn ACL. 17 games last year, 17 games in 2021, 16 games in 2020, 16 games in 2019, and 15 games in 2018. He's basically gotten better each season. 4.5 sacks his rookie year, 9 sacks in 2019, 5.5 in 2020, 12 in 2021, 10.5 in 2023, and 4 this year. And then I think he's going to get at least double-digit sacks coming up this year for sure. So like I said, he's versatile. He can play outside linebacker and edge rusher. Interchange there and drop back in coverage too. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. As always, hell to the Commanders. Peace.